Let's go. Let's start by the way you want. Hey, everybody. This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 4, episode 13. Worlds 2020 is underway. So, yes, we are finally at Worlds 2020. Hold on. I think the live went later than I did the intro. Crazy. So, this is the Cloud9 podcast, season 4, episode 13. Worlds 2020 is underway. We just got through the Worlds 2022 play-in stage, actually. And yeah, I'm going to end up getting my ass eaten out by an ape. No, I'm just... Oh, shit. I'm just kidding with you guys.
Not surprised.
I'm just kidding with you guys. Worlds 2022 play-in stage began, and it pretty much ended exactly as we thought. Most likely, I think. Just depends on how you look at it, though. So there's a lot to discuss. There's no easy way to navigate all of this stuff because it's always going to be a lot to talk about just in general. So we're gonna try and navigate everything the best way we can. We'll also end up, going over just what we thought of the play-in stage and the games in general, the best games from the play-in stage, the worst game from the play-in stage, the broadcast, just everything in general. So I don't even really know where to start, actually, because there's quite a bit to go over.
Let's start off with the group that was, Group A was Fnatic and Loud.
Yeah.
I think that's the better group to start off with.
Yeah, because I know people are going to want us to probably shit on Mad Lions right now because they literally just failed Europe again in the play-in stage. But, I mean, to be fair, we'd be kind of beating a dead horse because the thing here is, most people kind of predicted them to not make it out of their group. I think there was a world where I would, personally say that I could see a world where they get out. I mean, I did say that. I mean, I'll take the L on that one. I did say there's a good chance that Mad could make it out over DRX, given DRX's form that they showed in the LCK. But looking at how the tournament has progressed, I think there's something to really go over. We're going to have to actually have this up here in just a moment. So I'm going to make sure I get through all my shit in just a moment. So let me do this right now. All right, everyone who's watching, make sure you guys hit the like button. Oh my goodness, I put that in a fucking private chat. Oh my fucking God. Jesus Christ. I'm such a smart person.
Well done.
Make sure you guys hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Definitely going to be putting out some more content. I know I said I was going to do a bit more videos during the time period of, Worlds 2022, but a lot of stuff ended up happening that it pretty much made it so that I can't do anything more than just this, but I'm going to try and squeeze in more videos, for you guys. It really just depends. There is a new series that I do plan on starting. It's just, I got to get the time for it. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's just that I don't have the time for it right now, but I think I'll have some time for it because when does the main group stage, when does that end up starting? That's on Friday, right?
Yes, Friday.
Okay. So I think we'll have enough time for it. Most likely. So if I get that video done, because it's not going to be anything more than 10, 12 minutes anyway. So we're going to just hopefully get that done. The channel, you guys have been really enjoying the podcast, and that's good. I wanted to, be a nice little outlet for some people because they always say that there's no, content always coming out. No, we have content coming out. It's just, when there's nothing really to talk about, there's nothing we can really do. I mean, we had that Andrew Tate and G2 situation, that was something.
Mm-hmm.
And then apparently Warren is toxic. We were playing League last night. Apparently Warren's toxic, fucking bastard. Why are you so mean?
I'm only toxic when people are just don't listen and clearly, my thing is if I'm paying you, it's like telling someone, you know what, don't drink poison because it's going to get you killed. And you're like, oh, no, it looks like apple juice, so I'm going to drink it. No, what's wrong with you? I just told you don't drink it. It's poison. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what ended up happening, for when me and Warren were playing League of Legends last night. Oh my god, I swear. We had a jungler literally go 0 and like 23. He got so tilted that Warwick got like 3 kills early on. And remember what I told him, dude? I was like, dude, hey man, shit happens. At least keep trying. If you keep trying, I will not report you, because at least you're like dealing damage. You're trying to get objectives. Maybe you get a nice little pick off. You start picking up some kills. You start getting your gold back. You start like scaling up again. Shit happens. You have a bad game. We've all had like bad early games before. I don't know why people simply just don't understand that. You can have a bad game, but it's all depending on, how you bounce back. If you end up bouncing back, and you start actually, making good plays where you're dealing damage, maybe you're picking off the back line in a certain sense, peeling for your ADCs, there's so much you can do. And I've told people, just all you have to do is simply just untilt yourself. It's not that serious, It's a fucking Warwick with 3 kills. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could deal with that. You were like Gnar and I was Jinx. Definitely is not going to be that big of a deal dealing with a Warwick. You know what would be even worse if you guys started feeding in your games? Nice tip for people who don't actually understand. If you feed more, it just makes things worse. All you have to do is just play conservatively if you're behind. It's fine to be behind. We all get behind. It's okay.
Listen, I am the second coming of Forgiven. So if the jungler even says laugh out loud, you're bad, I'm like, so you're asking me to sprint it? You want me to run it in his lane? Like I'm that guy. I will run it if you start telling me nonsense, because I don't need you to tell me I'm doing bad. It's okay to say, hey, play a little safe. All right, cool, I'll do that. But don't say laugh out loud, laugh my ass off. I'm like, oh, so you want me to start running it? I'll run it. I'll sprint it. Don't worry. I'll break Hussein's Bolt record. Don't worry about that.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Right now, there's a dog outside who's barking. Sorry about that. I don't know why the fucking dog just keeps barking. Dog's retarded or some shit. All right. So, yeah, that's just so horrible. Like, those are like the worst League experiences, when someone just mentally collapses as hard as they do, and then they simply don't keep playing, which is ridiculous. It's like, dude, it's not that serious. You can make a comeback. I just don't know why people get like that. It just doesn't make any sense. All you have to do is simply just play smart. If you're behind, you make calculated plays. You don't just make plays that are obviously suboptimal and they're not going to amount to anything. That's it.
You stop making excuses.
So we have the Belveth last night, who simply was trying to go to the enemy's jungler as she's 2 and 8 with 1 item and trying to flank or trying to pick off.
It was good. You just didn't help her.
Oh, right. Hell yeah. So now we're going to come in here and wreck Sean for his horrible League analysis today.
For what?
Sean said on Twitter that NA was 10-0 against EU, and he was wrong. And we
I think you're talking about somebody above me.
Holy shit. So let's just go one by one. Warren, what did you think about the World's 2022 playing stage?
Mediocre. World's Plains is like, what I mean by mediocre is, at first this was like it was like I think 1 or 2 major regions, because all of the Korean teams would not be in the play-ins. Then all of a sudden they started adding more, which kind of took away from the play-ins field. So when I'm watching these games, the only fun one was Group A with all the teams from, I think, Fnatic, Cloud, DFM, EG. That was the fun, I guess, one of the funner. The other one was just a landslide. Honestly, RNG should have gone literally 4-0 in the other group if they didn't troll against DRX. To me, watching it was a glorified scrim. I think there's other things we can go over, like game-wise, as we continue, but it doesn't. I whether it's League or whether it's a sport that I like, I don't like watching blowouts. It's not fun. It's not competitive. Even if I don't like the other region, I want to see a good game. It's just not fun for me. Like, and yes, there's underdog stories, but none of the underdogs outside of, I guess, Loud taking the one game and then DFM taking the one game off, but like they really didn't like blow my mind. I'm not saying you're supposed to. The minor regions have like the second coming of Faker, but it's not like say, I don't know, like we have Fudge who came from OS, but is consistently a very good player and is constantly improving. Some of these people like Tin Ohms has been around since like 8+ years, and he's still, is just above a little bit above average. So personally, I think the play-ins were okay at best to mediocre. I'm not saying they weren't uh, okay to watch. It's just it's lost its value with them adding in Korea and then also China, because it's literally like you got a kindergartner fighting a fifth grader. Like, who do you think's gonna win unless that kindergarten decides to bring a gun in his backpack and
Gets removed off Twitch. Drugs intensifies.
But yeah, that's it. I mean, that's all. I mean, I'm sure we'll go into more details, but that's what I can think of the plans.
All right, Sean. Sean has the worst league analysis I've ever seen in my life. Man's analysis is dookie trash.
You say that, but then like 90% of my predictions are always right.
Literally never true, and he literally says some of the most cringiest off shit I've ever heard in my life.
Literally
you
true.
Sound like James when you're
I
talking
got
about league.
every single prediction in planes right besides one, which was RNG over DRX, because they all played like they were transitioning into Overwatch players. So yeah.
So what did you think, man, about the playing stage? Just your overall opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean, predictions wise, unlike you guys, I watch all the minor regions, so I got it right. Now, as for the event, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I love sitting through delays instead of the games. It's really exciting stuff. Sort of like that game yesterday. Yeah, okay. So what Warren's talked about, doesn't want to see stomps. I mean, I wouldn't say it's always stomps. There are a lot of upsets that usually happen in play-ins. They don't happen overall where the team usually makes it out, but enough where it's interesting as long as the event is fun. The production just wasn't good for the play-ins event, though, because it's like they cheaped down for New Mexico since it was just play-ins, unlike some other years.
Oh, wait.
But I mean, all they have to do is just
Can you come back to me when you're done? MSK, sorry, Sean.
Yeah.
I was just saying, just come back to me when you're done, Sean. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, I mean, all they have to do is just make all the minor region teams play in play-ins and none of the major region. They just have to like give the minor regions 2 teams each, like expand the play-in stage, have like kind of like their own miniature trophy and prize pool, since they're probably not going to do anything in the main stage, and if they do, then cool. And then like 5 teams or 6 teams, and or however many advance to the main stage, and then it's just there's then just 5 groups instead of 4, or there's more than 4 teams in each group. Just expand more teams at Worlds is all.
All right, Warren, what did you need?
Oh, Sean brought up the broadcasting. Yeah, I think ever since they started going to remote, it's lost its feel. There's a big difference when like Flowers and them or whomever is casting is actually there instead of like what they're doing now. I get it, they're saving money, but it's kind of taking away from the spectacle of it, which makes it nice. And then the last thing was, I mean, I think probably there's got to be some way to get the minor regions to catch up, in a sense, to say, because there hasn't been like a team like say Flash Wolves that were like literally a Korean killer that that like, okay, this team gets respect.
And they consistently did it too. Worlds after worlds, MSI, they were actively competing against the best LCK teams.
Right. So we need, like, I don't know how, like, because it's not like, oh, let's just pluck them. It's like you have to put the team together, right? So I don't know if it's a player, the leagues that they're in aren't being like proactive and like, I don't know how scrims are across the East. I don't know how scrims are for like the minor regions. Like if they should.
You know what I think, dude? You know what I think? I don't think the major region teams scrim the minor region teams. I think maybe EG does because NA has traditionally scrimmed the minor region teams. I don't think Europe, China, or Korea scrim the minor region teams. I think they just don't find it worth of any practice to scrim them, which inherently is not going to make them good because remember, they're coming to us to get better quality practice. They're factor in, guys, they're coming to NA for better quality games. Imagine how shit their solo queue is then. People say NA solo queue is shit. Imagine a place like fucking the LLA or Brazil or Japan. Well, Japan can play on the Korean server. So the only region that's not abided by that rule is just Japan. So every other region, minor region, is coming to North America or to the NA team to get quality scrims, right? So it's like, how can really any of them get better? And you can only get so much better fighting NA teams or traditionally NA third seeds because that's who they would be facing in their scrims is NA third seeds, right? So my thing with the play-in stage is I just don't want to see any more major region teams in there. I said this since a few episodes ago. I've told people that this is going to be a blowout. Remember, because I know people are like memeing on Evil Geniuses and shit. Evil Geniuses didn't drop a single game to the minor region teams at all at MSI. They only dropped 2 of the games, in this group stage. One was to a team that in theory should beat them, so that's fair. Then, EG lost to Detonation Fuck Me. So they lost. So EG has only lost 1 game to a minor region team all year long at both international events they went to. They didn't drop a single game to a wildcard team at MSI. They didn't drop and they only dropped 1 game to a minor region team, which was Detonation Focus Me, who ended up taking a game off RNG. So that would mean that they're a decent minor region team. So EG won every single game against a minor region team. So I don't want to hear this NA is a wildcard region anymore when our third seed beat the shit out of every single one of them. Every region, they each beat the fuck out of them.
NA is wildcard region.
I hate Canadians. I hate you people so much.
Beyond Gaming was the best in the group. They just got unlucky.
You know what? I want to show you guys one of the worst plays I have ever seen. It's worse than that H2K Karma Baron steal. You're gonna fucking die looking at this shit. And Sean was out here going, the minor regions aren't that bad. Fuck you.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm gonna show you. Don't worry, I got you.
Oh, his dad's coming home.
I'm bringing up the actual footage.
You see, this is what MSK does. So basically, it's like I'll say something like, it's basically like the Doran Loco Doko stuff where
he goes, oh, he called me out. I gotta backtrack.
No. What are you talking about?
he's basically
because this guy is an angry crackhead. It's like this is acting like Doran Loco Doko. Like where Doran will be. That Doran will be like, I think Golden Guardians will make playoffs in spring. And then they miss playoffs in summer, so Loco Doko will be like, you were wrong. It's like, well, I said spring, not summer, you fucking idiot. It's like, that's MSK. It's like I say something and then I'm right, and then it's like a week later, then they falter, even though I didn't say they would continue that success, and then he'll be like, you were wrong.
I said that you had brought up that they're actually better than what they're actually showing. They're not actually good. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're not.
What are you talking about?
What I'm bringing up is they're not these minor regions. They're not good. And
Did I say they were good?
No, but you said they're better than what we already kind of established. Like, I don't think so, man. I think DFM is what you're talking about.
Yes, because you guys were absolutely shitting on them. Said, no, I don't think Loud is completely shit.
You got one of the teams right, and that was DFM.
All right, well, can I let me speak for myself. So,
what are you talking about?
Let me speak for myself. So, I'm gonna go off of this, Sean. The only minor regions over the last, say, from 2017 till now that has even sparked any interest is Buffalo. Let's be very clear about that. Outside of Flash Wolves, there hasn't been because Buffalo also beat G2 during I think a World.
They also beat them this year too at MSI.
And
They beat them this
So
year, too.
outside of Buffalo and don't say Beyond because Beyond was was basically the Doggo was their Chovy. So because Beyond had their issues, so when it comes to
okay, I was trolling when I said Beyond,
no,
right?
no. I meant in general. I understand that. I'm saying if you wanted to go back and say Beyond Doggo, and look where he is now. He didn't even make worse with BLG. My point is not that. It's that the minor regions, right? They're not. They're not like. There's a reason why Karsa, Maple, Sword Art. I think the only person that I'm trying to figure out, Betty. They're all in the LPL actually. Outside of ADD was a lot, and Hanami's in PSG, but he stayed, which is PCS. But Karsa went to RNG, right? Maple been to was on
Suning at 1.2.
Well, what is your point?
Point is that you're not. The minor regions aren't producing these players and aren't competitive. They're just not. They don't hold a candle to most.
Well, when did I ever say this wasn't the case?
I think this man Sean thinks everything we say is directed at him. No, you're on.
No, we're not.
What are you talking?
Because
I was coming at me, so I thought this, and then Worm was like, "I'm gonna say this to you, Sean." So what does that? You said I'm gonna say this to you.
Yeah, I did. I'm not backtracking. I'm saying that. I'm just saying in general, the consensus from the public, I'm not saying you because I think you think I'm targeting you. The consensus is that the minor regions are good, but so far I haven't seen it outside of Buffalo. I don't see it, man. Like I'm trying to be unbiased as possible. Buffalo,
I try to give the
Buffalo's
fair
the
share.
only team that has shown.
What do you mean? What about Pentanet?
Come on, man! Stop your trolling. Go back to Zandalar if you're gonna start this nonsense. Like, come on, man.
Okay, so this is my thing. I've been watching League since season 4. These minor region teams have really never been good. Now, you have your upsets here and there, which is fine. You have Flash Wolves who've upset Korean teams in the past. But you made PSG Talent make top 4 last year in MSI, right?
And MSI, and they made it back to Worlds consistently.
But outside of these various rare upsets, outside of these various few teams that do consistently well, the minor region teams, you have to understand, the sample size of the minor region teams, they're playing against way worse caliber competition. So a team like Unicorns of Love, when they were in Turkey, was it Turkey or Russia? They were in Russia. Yeah. So they're beating everybody, and they're not getting challenged. That's not going to happen at Worlds when you're facing better caliber competition. The competition that the minor regions are facing is not increasing. There's whatever the solo queue is, however the players are producing, whatever the scrim practices, however they're trying to master champions, whatever. They're not getting really better. This year proves it. Oceania went 0-13. Oceania went 0-13. Is that no different than when the LMS at some point during Worlds groups went 0-12? I don't think. I can, it's not devil's advocate. I'll give the minor region teams a bone. Maybe some of these teams are actually pretty good, but the caliber of competition that they're facing in their region isn't getting better, so they can't improve. That's also a thing too. It's the same thing happened with Cloud9 back in 2020, and it was really bad. Cloud9 really couldn't get much better outside of how good they already were because of the caliber of competition, and that's fair. That's a fair statement, and I don't disagree with that. But just from the things that I've seen out of these teams, I'll show you right now why if they get away with this in their region, I'm sad. I'm sad. Okay. I want to show you guys one of the worst world plays I have ever seen. This is worse than that Karma Baron steal. Okay, so here's what happened in this game. Beyond Gaming has priority right here because Jojo Peon went up to top to help Impact and get a kill. Cool, right? So you have 4 people here. Okay, they prepped it all cool. The minion wave is right here. The minions are tanking the tower. Then after it, jungle's aggro, it goes to another champion. Okay, cool. They kill Kaori. Okay, you're cool. You're like, okay, they're killing off fucking, Impact. Impact TP'd in, died. They killed 2 people. What the holy fuck are you doing? Finish this guy. There's 3 people here. What is wrong with these guys? The minions are taking the tower. Oh, hell. What are you doing? And he flays them back. Oh, no. Oh, my God. I was sitting there going, okay, you're trash. You deserve to lose. Get off the fucking stage. And want to tell me how that's good? How they lost a 4v2 dive? How they lost a 4v2 tower dive? You can't make this shit up. EG also played kind of bad in the situation because Impact TP'd in, and he didn't even have his ultimate. So Impact didn't even play the situation out fine. Impact TP'd in without his ultimate, just wasting his time. They ended up dying. Kaori was going to die because, Xayah Rakan will easily be able to kill Aphelios and Thresh if they start diving them. They have a Vi. They have an Akali. They have a Xayah. They have a Rakan. And they got outplayed by a Thresh. This is if they get away with that in that region, that's bad. If you are never getting punished for that, holy fucking shit. Holy
God. And so I wonder who was it before this tournament who was like, I think the PCS team has the best chance of, upsetting their, historically always good. well, I was trying to say, Saigon Buffalo. And then I said right after to some person above me, no, Beyond Gaming is trash. They're going to get 5th in their group. I wonder who that was.
I never said anything.
No, not you, Warren, not you.
Oh, about to say, I know. I will say that Buffalo, all I will say is Buffalo, if I hope maybe that team, if they build up more synergy, they could be better because I can definitely Buffalo could have got another win. Could have got a
you could tell in that series they were.
How do you make this better though?
So,
there's no way you can
tell
fuck this
in
up.
That series against Mad Lions that Buffalo kind of looked like Mad Lions was playing like shit.
Buffalo played really well. I'm not gonna lie, they played pretty well actually.
Mad Lions was shit outside of El Yoya, and they drafted probably the worst I've ever seen. But it's like Buffalo. I don't know what it's like they snorted a bunch of cocaine before their game. Like, what was their game plan?
Beyond snorted that top ramen from America for doing this dive.
Saigon looked better. It's just they had like the worst game plan ever against Mad going into the series.
Guys, when I watched this, I was like, man, PCS, fuck, this is bad. Now, I'm not saying one bad play results in the whole region. I'm not saying that.
It is. They regressed this year. Again, this was all year. PSG was not good at MSI. They shouldn't have even made it out over that Brazilian team in the first stage of MSI.
I want you guys to understand this, though. They got outplayed 1v3 with minions taking the tower by a Thresh with half his health and no mana, only enough to do a flay. I've never seen a play that bad. That is actually griefing on stage.
I think you can transition into the Group A.
Because I can't watch this anymore. Otherwise, my eyes will start actually bleeding. So bad. All right, let's go over Group A first. Fnatic finishes top of the group, 4-1. Evil Geniuses 3-2. Loud 3-2. Fuck Loud. Donation Focus Me 3-2. Beyond Gaming 2-3, and Chiefs Esport Club from OCE 0-5. Now,
damn, 6 for 6. Wow, what do you know?
Yeah, as we all predicted, Australia was trash. They wouldn't do anything. They got 0-5. Fair enough, right? We thought the PCS would be competing with, Donation Focus Me, maybe for like that.
No, maybe. They were never competing.
After I saw that game, I was like, okay, they're not competing for shit. They're competing for the fucking L's,
Yeah, no, the top 4 is always locked here. Same thing with the other one.
Yeah, Donation Focus Me, I thought they actually kind of turned it on later on as the tournament went by. Loud played a really good game against DFM. I'll give them credit for that. They played a really good game against DFM. They played a really good game against Fnatic. Now...
Yeah, I mean, Yaharon still sucks. If they had Jet instead of him, it'd be a lot better.
Now, the thing here that I'll say is people were like, well, who's better, Loud or Dead Nation Focus Me? Well, DFM took a game off RNG. So if you swap the places, do you think that Loud could have taken the game off RNG? Because if you can't say that confidently, then it's
in
no.
their group, Loud was better, and I did say they would finish third in the next stage. So I mean, I didn't say Loud, could have been. It depended on just who adapted better, and Detonation just ended up adapting better. They it was like Loud. It's like they just. I don't want to say it's like they fucking lost confidence after that one loss and they didn't know how to fucking draft or fucking play scales.
That EG game you talked to me about, I watched it back again because I was at work and I was listening to it. They were only like 3,000 gold up. They weren't winning that hard. It wasn't like a uncomebackable situation in that game. But it was nice to see Brazil not be garbage like they usually are. It was nice to see them not be trash.
Yeah.
That was nice to see.
And for the record, unlike what this guy said, and I said they weren't, again, I said that Robo, unless the other top laner is Intin for him, has actually been kind of awful for 2+ years compared to like 5 other tops in CBLOL. He just keeps getting put on these great teams carrying him, and he's just a personality, so everybody think he's great in Brazil. And Cios isn't as good as before. If he's good in
Brazil, that goes to show you the level of competition there. If people
he's like the 6th or 5th top laner.
So a player like Robo, guys, Impact took his Mordekaiser hammer and shoved it in his ass repeatedly. So
he looked good in the other games, but that was literally the other top laners Intin for him. As always, whenever he's good, and Cios wasn't as good as before. And Brands, he's good. He's a good ADC, just 50-50. He's inconsistent. It's a coin flip with him, like whether he'll show up or not. And then Croc, it's just meh. So, but the whole reason why was because Tinones was just that better than all the other minor region mid laners in this group. So
Taco Bell.
So Taco Bell. Oh, you're on drugs. So Fnatic took their only loss, and that was to Loud. Now Fnatic, I don't know what Hylissang was smoking in that game, but that was drugs. He did legitimate drugs.
That was a bad draft too. Like,
what was that game? Let me bring it up again.
Like,
listen, you're just jealous.
Oh yeah,
Hylissang played a good game.
Like, Wonder doesn't even play Fiora. Like, why is he even on? Like, let's be honest. Like, come on.
That man can't play Fiora. Not 2022 Wonder, 2019 Wonder. That's a different story. But 2022 Wonder, nope. Hell no.
No. The only thing I'm wondering is why. I'm wondering if Loud snorted a bunch of cocaine before their Beyond Gaming match, because how much did Robo pay Hylissang to throw it and run it down that hard? Hylissang was sprinting it, guys. Probably as much as he paid Perron to run it down. So
okay, so the draft between Fnatic and Loud drafted Aatrox, Maokai, Silas, Misfortune, and Mumu. Then you also had Fnatic drafting Fiora, Sejuani, Akali, Caitlyn, and Braum. Now, holistically, Loud's comp is actually pretty darn solid. I really enjoy it. Now, as you guys know, Aatrox is the most picked top laner right now at Worlds. It's either, if it's open first, you take it. Silas making a more of a better pick priority compared to the other mid laners right now. Maokai jungle made a huge comeback right now. The amount of utility that Maokai brings into the jungle is really good. Now, just because the champions in the play-ins see play from these minor region teams doesn't mean this will holistically translate to the next stage, but it's nice to see, some of the minor region teams pulling out some of these champions to give themselves whatever edge they can against some of these major region teams. Now, in this game, Hylissang played like he was actually on drugs. I think maybe his brain was fried because he kind of just jumped into 3 people right there for no reason. I just don't understand what the fuck he was doing. Yeah, and that is also true. Hilly had COVID and didn't get a chance to scrim with the team since they lost to Rogue, which definitely is going to be a problem. Now, I wonder how Hylissang is going to perform with Fnatic now that they got out of the group and they're going to have a few more games to actually play with him. I don't know if it'll make that big of a difference because Hylissang has not been playing good essentially almost all year. Like in spring, spring was over, because he looked like MVP quality. After spring was over and they lost to G2 in that upper bracket round, he looked like shit. What the fuck is that?
I don't care. I don't think it's Hillsang. I think Fnatic as a team regressed because the thing is that all of the blame, which I will say after watching LEC, I think Razork performed pretty decently. A lot of blame was being put on Razork. And
he played well in playoffs. He was playing that poorly in regular season. Mostly.
I don't think so because you got to remember you got to play around your solo laners. If Wonder and Humanoid are playing like dog, like what we saw. Okay, for instance,
Humanoid, he was dying level 3 consistently.
I agree, Sean. There were points in the season, but for the most part, he was consistent. Like we saw what happened when Mad is a perfect example. When someone said it, I mean, you fans said it, not me. When Elioya is the entire carry and you have 4 bots, how are you gonna win it? How are you gonna win the game? So I think Hillsang, I honestly don't see Matt. I don't see Fnatic coming out because Humanoid has Humanoid thinks he's the second coming of Cap sometimes, and I'm like, slow your roll, dude. I don't know what you're doing.
I think he's having a uncharacteristically bad year. Okay, so in spring, arguably he was top 4. You know, I had Larson and Perks over him, but I thought he was still pretty decent in spring. Like ever since Fnatic lost to G2 in that spring split, a lot of our players have just really regressed. Like Humanoid can kind of pull it together in some games, maybe. I mean, they clutch it out when they need to. I mean, they got here. They did better to get that. Wonder and Upset are their best players. I think Upset played great in the playing stage, actually. I thought he played fine. You know, he finally got a chance, you know, to play on the world stage, and he proved that he can definitely compete with at least better than these minor region ADCs. That's good. But
I wanted to see Upset versus Danny, though. That would have been.
But you got Upset
really
versus
nice.
Kaori. Quality.
Oh, stop.
Dude, Danny couldn't even beat Flackid. Imagine going up against Upset. I don't know, man. But that's just me. But yeah, Loud ended up taking a game off Fnatic, and in an upset fashion, because I mean, I'm pretty sure most people didn't have, you know, Fnatic losing to Loud. I mean, I didn't for sure. But, you know, Hillsang uncharacteristically played bad. There was that other support that they used that people said that they should probably play him if Hillsang ends up not being on Fnatic, you know, after Worlds 2022. And that's a very fair assessment to make. Okay, so that's pretty much it with Group A. The only other teams to really talk about is just Evil Geniuses, but we'll probably talk about them more when we move on to talk about them beating Mad Lions. So Beyond Gaming, I just thought they played like shit. Chiefs Esports Club, it's Australia, guys. In any fashion, any tournament when it comes to Australia, Worlds, MSI, they are fucking garbage. Danish and Focus Me, always consistently coming to Worlds, putting on a good performance. You know, it's just the fact that, you know, it doesn't really matter how much of a good performance you can put on against, you know, a lot of teams. What it really boils down to is at a certain period point in time, if your players are just worse than the other teams, that will eventually be a problem. And it was shown in the RNG series that at a certain point in time in the series, RNG players are just not even just way better, a whole tiers of love better. You know, that's disgusting. All right, now we're gonna go on to Group B. Dragon X finished 5-0. RNG 4-1. Mad Lions 3-2. Sangyoon Buffalo 2-3, and Isurus 1-4. And you have Istanbul Wildcats 0-5. What happened to Turkey? Turkey used to be a minor region that people used to actually think twice about. Now they regressed really hard.
I don't know because I thought Turkey could have pulled off a win against Mad. There's a lot of games that were actually like close.
True, yeah.
When I watched their games, like their scoreline isn't as like I think they should have probably gone like 2-3 or like 1-4 at least. Because their mid game is where they're having issues. Like they don't know how to close out properly or push their lead. Because Holy Finney's lane phase is good. Like the guy, is pretty good. Like I am still baffled that like I get that LEC and LCS are like Like I'm surprised no LEC team or no LECS team has ever picked up this guy. He actually holds his own against Gala and
Right, yeah.
and Ming with
Who knows?
like,
He might actually get picked up. Who knows? I mean, if you play well in the playing stage, it's shown in the past that some of these teams for the offseason, they'll pick you up. I just hope that they pick up this guy because what did you think of Starscream? Did you think he played well?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he played better on Garen than ADD on Teemo.
So there is something that I have to say right now, because this was one of the most disrespectful things you can do as a competitive team, is pretty much go on stage and just straight up lock in a champion you know is going to cause you to lose the game, essentially putting your team at a 4v5. Isurus knew at one point, I think during that game they picked Teemo, they wouldn't have made it out, and they legitimately griefed on stage picking Teemo. You know, I have some self-respect for yourself. Like, no, have some self-respect for yourself. Go out fighting, man. You know, I get it. Like, the Riot format is really hard on these minor region teams. I get it. Loud ended up taking up a game of Fnatic. DFM later on took games, you know, off EG, EG, and they took games off fucking RNG. You know, anything can happen. You know, but I don't think auto-locking in fucking Teemo is the way to show that these minor region teams can compete. Now everyone's just going to look at that pick and go, okay, these guys just think this shit is a joke. You know? How can I take these minor region teams seriously if one of the fucking teams is locking in Teemo? It's like, I can't take
Teemo's good. Fuck off.
I just can't think of anything serious. I'm sorry. It's just like, you got to go out swinging, man. And people are going to say, but it was a meaningless game. It doesn't matter. Guys, these guys are professionals, okay? This is where it does matter. It does matter because they're trying to get out of the group in advance. What do you mean it doesn't matter? What the fuck are you on?
Yeah, because if they get out the group, like, there's a lot of things that happens when a team.
If you play spoiler to a certain team, that can cause maybe another scenario to happen.
Well, the thing is, like, let's say Loud hypothetically got into the group stage. You got people. You'd have investors coming out, like, okay, you guys got a mass following. So the more a gaming organization wins, the higher chance they have organizations, sponsors coming out to reach them. So these tournaments actually matter to get, like, publicity, and also, like, people have to realize these players. I think I wouldn't be surprised if at least 4 or 5 of these players get picked up from different.
Definitely LPL. Shogun. This bot lane that Sangoon Buffalo have is actually pretty darn good.
Yeah, so
got a pretty legit bot lane they got going there.
I don't know what I agree with that, Shogun. I don't know what happened with Latin America. Like, they just, like,
Trump deported all of them.
Istanbul Wildcats should have been better than that. Like, they should have gone. I think they could have gone 1 and 4, or at least 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is. I mean, I'm not trying. Istanbul should have gone at least 1 and 4, maybe 2 and 3 on a lucky day. But DRX.
No, Wildcats is trash.
But
how bad was Wildcat? How bad were these other Turkish teams to lose to Wildcats?
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. If you thought Wildcats would not get last in their group and lose like every game, you haven't been watching the Turkish league. They've regressed after everybody took their talent and the good teams choked. This team was like the 6th best in regular season, and they've always choked internationally at MSI, always getting last in their group to Brazilian teams. All right. Now, again, I would say Isurus and Wildcats are probably fucking potentially worse than the Chiefs, both of them. This is why this group was such a slaughter, because there was 2 terrible teams and then 4 good teams. But yeah, no, Isurus, yeah, I predicted them 5th because, you know, they're not good either, and Latin America's not been good, but they at least had like that dark horse factor in their drafts and, you know, some edge where they would pull out a win or, you know, take teams more to the limit, which they did. So I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, I'm sure they have some talent, but like as a team, Wildcats sucks, and they played together for like 4 years. If
these major regions are, if any of the major region teams that didn't make Worlds 2022, I would look at some of the players in the playing stage that played really well and see if you can potentially incorporate them into your team if you need an upgrade. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Shogun and Taki would be a pretty good upgrade in the bot lane for an LCS team. I think Holy Phoenix would be a pretty good upgrade for the ADC position for a lot of the LCS teams.
They should sign them and then have them play in Academy for a 4-year.
For do it as long as Tuesday was for CLG Academy.
I know, just do what they did with Levi. I think that's a good strategy.
All right, so we'll talk about Mad Lions when we go over the EG Mad Lions series and RNG and DFM. But for RNG, if you look at like how people talk about this team, people are talking about this team like they're gonna make top 8. Guys, you gotta factor in I'm not saying that they shouldn't be making top 8. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like there's already high expectations on these teams for Group B with DRX and RNG, and they're the 4th seed in coming in. They should just be going to Worlds being like, okay, we'll just see what happens. No, the fans are like, you got to be making top 8 going to like semis. It's like, they're the 4th seed. They're the 4th seed. They're not even predicted to potentially even get out of the group. I mean, if you look at it holistically, like getting out of the groups, but it's just crazy.
Who?
How for like RNG and DRX, it's just crazy how like the
expectations RNG should because of their competition. But
yeah, I mean RNG is the MSI champion earlier, so that would have
because of bullshit pin. Good job.
And then I don't know why any Korean fan thinks DRX is going to be doing anything at Worlds. I think they get out of the group.
Yeah, okay. So this was like the one thing I got wrong the whole tournament so far. That's DRX. Okay, so
that's a fraud, though.
Here's the thing. I do not think DRX actually played as well as people did and deserved first. I
agree.
Because here's the number one, all those delays made them play till fucking midnight. And if you watch the game, RNG did look better than DRX. It's just like they were like playing like they were handicapped because they were like tired or like the decisions they made. Like it's like they were trying to lose the game. Like I genuinely think like that was the case there. And then they stomped all the other teams, RNG, and then DRX. There were a lot. I think, Zeka, like people were underrated in DRX. They are like a solid all-around team, and Zeka, it was better than people said, but yeah, they were not actually like this good. And I think another thing was draft diff. They gave them like so many OP, like banned fucking Akali, Jesus Christ. And yeah, like I think if it wasn't for that, then yeah, they would have got second or potentially third. Like, I think if Sega and Buffalo just played less like they were on fucking crack, it could have been a 3-way tie like in the other group, and they could have got second, which is the reason why I predicted them as an upset to possibly make it out, because then their competition would be DFM or Loud.
What's crazy is that the closest games DRX played were against Mad and RNG. So this game, Aloya picks Belveth, and Mad Lions actually have a chance to win this game, but they keep being over-aggressive. The issue with Mad Lions is that no one ever understood this when I always brought this up was Mad Lions actually do have somewhat of a decent early game, but the problem with Mad Lions' early game compared to a team like Rogues is Rogue is going to take the optimal way to push their early game lead. Mad Lions just gets an early game lead and they just keep making plays. The problem here with keep making plays is you have to make the right optimal play. You can't just keep going for every play. Now, in this game, you had Aloya picking Belveth and definitely having an impact on this game. I think just giving over Silas and Yumi and Sivir to Zeka, Deft, and Beryl was definitely a mistake.
Yes, and they keep doing it every game. It's like they'll give them that or give them like a Kali and shit or just super OP. I don't fucking get what these drafts are. It's like they kept giving them the games for free every time against CRX.
Like, if you're trying to pick Belveth and have them, like, dive to backline, well, that's going to be really hard with a Yumi there that can stop you. I mean, like,
it is a bad look for the game
this
team got first, and it will be a horrible look for the game if this team somehow makes it out of groups.
I mean, I think they showed people that they're a threat, but they're not, like, a threat in the same way that, like...
No. They are on par with EG at best. They're basically like, okay, did the other team give us the best champs in the game where Zeka and Def can just go like 15-1? So we're just gonna rely on the other team fucking up.
Okay,
that's their strategy.
So I'll ask you this: so against them, you could just play fuck all and just pick Teemos, right?
Well, yeah, sure. Why not?
So I think just for me, I think DRX showed that okay, they're at least not as shitty as most people thought. They're a competent team. We'll have to see how that plays out against better competition in the group stage, actually. But we'll have to see how that goes. Mad Lions starts the Baron. Then you have Deft and Kingen taking this tower. I remember that. Mad Lions, I'm pretty sure, gets the Baron here. Then at some point in the game, they were over-aggressive. They pushed the top side into that top tier 2 tower. Then they ended up getting 3 kills onto Zeka. And then later on, they had like one more team fight, and then they just ended up losing. Like at a certain point in the game, Sivir's just going to outscale Misfortune and definitely outrange her. And there's a damn Yumi there.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, they were playing with 4 players because Armut wasn't on Gnar.
Oh, true. Yeah, Armut not on anything but Gnar is just not
why
good.
hasn't any teams played Renekton yet? He's in the meta.
Because Aatrox is just better.
And that's the thing. Would you want to give Armut Aatrox?
Well, that's the other champ he knows how to play, so yes.
I mean, he knows how to play 2 champions, Gnar and Wukong. And Wukong's not a top laner anymore.
No, and Renekton, so that's 3.
Actually, he could play Wukong, actually. That's the funny part.
That might have been a whole lot better than what he was doing here, which is nothing.
No, I don't think Wukong's good right now, but...
I mean, with the durability, he still is... I mean, maybe jungle-wise, but he still does a hell of a lot of damage.
I mean, you're trying to knock out the back line with Wukong trying to flank. That's a whole lot better than Moore doing it.
But also, another thing that I think play-ins provides, you guys are underrated, and by the way, like, again, while these teams might not win, I mean, it's still... Look, they bring a new play style from the region and like different picks as they did like that. Like if it wasn't for that, we might not get that. What was it getting? The one jungler who was in the top lane.
I never said those were a bad thing.
Yeah,
all I said was it doesn't matter.
No, I'm talking about Warren, but like Lilia top and Zillion top. And also, I mean, yeah, while they might not win, it's it's still entertaining. Listen, you can, besides maybe picking Teemo and Intin, you cannot say the ISG games were not at least fun to watch, and they did not at least put up a fight.
No, Istanbul with Garen put up more of a fight than the Teemo against. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if it's a coaching thing, but. I think
well, some regions it's a coaching thing. Like Oceanic has always had very good talent, but their coaching has always been the worst out of any
If you're gonna
region.
pick champions like that are suboptimal and only kind of work in various scenarios, pick good champions. Then picking Teemo is not good.
Well, the problem was that he needed to go to the mid lane and support his mid laner, and get the Yumi on his back.
I think the thing is like when you have we can use. I know Sean's gonna laugh at me, but. Like look at Broken Blade, right? He can pull out a Darius and in a matchup and show why but it's all about how you can play the champ and if it fits the comp, right? So I don't mind the Lilia top. I thought that was cool. I thought that was interesting. I even mentioned that I think Lilia is a good pick because of her mobility and she scales and all that stuff. So yeah, I encourage it, but minor regions shouldn't be pulling these things out because unless I'm surprised Evie didn't come out with Urgot because he's known for his Urgot, right?
Yeah.
So, but with Mad, I don't know. I watched all of LEC and they were just a lower tier version of CLG. That's what I thought. That's what I thought of Mad.
Yeah, they overperformed at the very beginning, and it led people to believe that they're probably better than they actually were. But then, as other teams started kind of catching up to them, they just looked worse by comparison. That's not saying they're bad guys, because I know people, when you bring up these scenarios, people think you're saying they're no. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just more like when you get a head start at being good, unless you improve on that head start you get, you're not going to get any better. Other teams. Improve, yeah, and that's the thing. Same thing with Excel. They had a good head start, and then when the teams caught up with the much better players, they just didn't look that good. Now that's just my thing with the play-in stage. I think after this play-in stage, Riot should literally consider never putting major region teams in. And yes, guys, I mean LCS teams. I don't care what the fuck Thorin says about LCS being a minor region team or minor region or whatever.
Well, yeah, snore and smoke, crack. So
even if you just want to take this year, let's just take this year. EG dropped one game to a minor region team. One.
Yeah, stop. EG is as bad as NA. All right, they're just slightly better in their throughout history, and their teams have just come slightly more clutch or got luckier in group draws. And there wasn't, like fucking 12 teams that China and Korea got to send, so there were some extra slots in the top 8 that then EG gets.
No,
right, that's all. That's the only reason why they've had any success outside of 2019. All right, they're just as bad as NA.
Well, I wasn't talking about that.
Get off your high horse.
I wasn't talking about that. I don't know. Are you on drugs?
No.
What are you talking about?
I know you weren't talking about that. That I'm talking about because you said Thorin called NA a minor region.
I hate Sean, guys. He doesn't get my humor. Oh my goodness.
What do you mean? What the fuck? Well, what humor is? I wasn't saying that. Where's the joke?
No, it's just people will bring up that LCS is a minor wild card region.
Yes, and I was just saying to those people. And I was saying to those people. Well, what did you not get there?
I know. Oh my, Warren, help me!
Well, I'm sorry, your joke sucks. I couldn't.
Man, people smoke crack, and you shouldn't do that.
It's not my fault. Your joke sucks. Get a better joke.
Yeah, it's just my thing of like people who say that NA should not be a pool 1 seed. I mean, if you just went off this year, that's a pretty big sample size of games right there. People say I don't want to have anecdotal evidence. You have a lot of games here. They lost one game to a minor region team. Out of all the games they played against minor regions, they lost one. Sounds like LCS deserves their spot. We're not better than EU and LCK and LPL. And no one's saying that. If you're saying that, you're fucking delusional. But definitely better than these teams.
Year in some years, like 20.
Yeah. Like there are some years that they're relatively about even. I'm not saying that either.
And EU has actually regret. Like if you just look in their regional leagues, they've been drying up on talent.
What do you mean? Adam's a great top laner.
Oh, fuck off. Jack Spector's good. That's about it. Fuck.
So that's just my thing. When it comes to that, is like if this year didn't prove that LCS is better than at least a wild card minor region, then I guess you're on drugs. I guess you're just on drugs, and there's nothing that you can do to help that. But yeah, I think there shouldn't really be any more major region teams in these groups. You got to give these teams a chance to go against each other because this is their competition. This is how they get better. They're not going to get better facing RNG, Riot. we know that. Like,
I mean, remember. Worlds happens.
You get possible depression and possibly need to get a rope. That's basically gonna get.
I mean, DFM can kind of. I would say DFM and Loud and Saigon can kind of keep their heads up high, but outside of those, like, I don't know. I think this comes back to the original argument before even Worlds started. You, me, Cole all said. They just need to change the format. The format is just bad.
If this year of tournaments isn't any indication to change the format, dude, then I don't know. What else more do they have to do?
Like,
I'm telling you right now, just like what Warren said earlier, watching RNG butt fuck Isurus is not fun to look at. First of all, for one, because you already know they're better. You in your brain conceptually understand they're better. So they're not going to win. They have worse players. So how's it fun to watch? We know RNG is better than them. It's not even close. And people say, oh my God, Isurus got destroyed by RNG. No shit, Sherlock. People actually act surprised like retards. Oh my God, Wildcats lost to DRX. That's like saying a fucking cat could lose to a fucking shark. Like, what the fuck? Are you retarded? Are you straight up stupid? I can't do it. I hate fans so much. You're so dumb. Why is it a surprise that DRX beats Wildcats? Is that a big surprise to people? God. Like, DFM is a bit different because DFM, they get to play on the Chinese and Korean server. So they get to actually have better practice compared to everyone else. I think VCS does too, I'm not mistaken. But they have a big server anyway. So it's a bit different. But everyone else, if their servers are not getting better, or however Riot handles it for those regions, I don't know.
TCL plays on EU West.
Is that good practice?
Yes.
So,
very good practice. It's just they can't get scrims. Like this goes back.
Yeah. I remember. I think Broken Blade said when he was on what was that team he used to be on with Abadage and fucking Closer Royal. Yeah, he said that only the top European team would ever scrim them once. But one team would scrim them. One. It has to be scrim culture, man. Maybe Sean is right. Maybe these guys aren't as bad as I'm thinking. Maybe it is scrim culture because if you don't scrim, certain teams say if they don't get certain scrims, they're not gonna improve. Or people cancel on scrims on them, or they don't take things as seriously against them. Maybe it's scrim culture, maybe it's their own region, but Riot needs to do this. No more NA, LP, no more NA, EU, China, Korea in these groups. I don't. No more. This is the nail in the coffin for this. No more major region teams in the fucking playing stage. No, I just can't look at it anymore. People say, well, what if the LCS loses to fucking Pentanet? What has fucking Australia ever did at Worlds?
I know how you could do how you can fix it. So, what you would do is I think you could potentially add 2 more. So it's 4 groups, right? And so add 2 more groups. You'd have EU and NA. I would say third, third seeds in that group, right? And then you have China, and say if LJL never comes back, the LIS, or I think that's what it's called for Russia. And then you have Korea.
It's LCL. Fuck.
LCL.
What?
He's just on bacon coke.
Yeah, he's on cocaine. He's that English negative.
It is LCL, but I forgot the other 2 letters.
He's that English teacher. You didn't say this word properly. Fuck off. You know what I meant.
So
fucking Canadians.
It's either you mix up the 2 teams, so you would either have NA and EU together, or KR and China together, or you do 1 KR team with EU West, or vice versa, and have extra play-in teams. And the top, let's say, out of the 8 play-in teams, right? The top 4 would be slotted into those groups. That's how you can correct that. So now you have play-ins. That's how, and I think that's a way of getting rid of it. But I don't know the format's just terrible. Or potentially have more tournaments, because. There's not really there's no more IEMs. There's not that.
They fucked up Rift Rivals in the way they were doing it, so that's not gonna happen ever again.
I thought IEMs were really good for third place, second place teams that
need that extra competition to face off against. I like that too. It's just I hope they change it. Now let's be honest here, guys. We know Riot's not gonna change it. We know that. So we're going to have to see another year of minor region teams getting ass-fisted by fucking... by getting... Oh, God. Damn, it's just so demoralizing fucking watching these guys get blown out this way. But the playing stage is over for this year, and we are moving on to the Worlds 2022 main group stage event. We have the appetizer. You know how you guys go to the restaurants and shit? And you have your appetizers.
That was an appetizer. That was garbage.
War. Let me use my metaphors, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, they overcooked the chicken bites. The nuggets.
Yeah. Cole's right. They overcooked it. This is
mega overcooked. This is charcoal fucking shit. All right, so we're gonna have to do our little bit of a fun predictions. What I'm gonna end up doing for predictions is I'm gonna actually put that in a series like Monty and Thorin have for their thing. There's a name I already have for the series.
Yeah, so sorry, I don't watch trash content. You're gonna have to tell me what name that is.
Okay, so we're not gonna do predictions all the time on this anymore. There's gonna be a series just for it because that's gonna be more content for you guys. I'll have Warren and Sean on that too. But we're gonna go over my Worlds 2022 Pick'em stage actually, and talk about the match of the days for the matches coming up, because the games start this week on Friday, and then there's no break in games until so when Monday concludes, the World's group stage starts up again on the 13th. So there's gonna be about a 2-day about a 2-day gap between when the first round robin is over. So you guys don't understand, each team plays each other for all throughout the week. Then In the next set of the round robin, they play within the group. They have just 1 day of an individual group, if that makes sense, actually. Okay, so you get all the groups to play in week 1 for this. Then in the second week, the individual groups play out their day to see who makes top 8. Okay, now here are my Worlds 2022 pick'ems, and I'll explain why I put this stuff here, because I'm a believer, just not too much. All right, let me put that right there. That was a mistake. That was a mistake right there. That was a mistake. All right, I have T1 getting out of Group A first, Cloud9 second, EDG third, Fnatic fourth. For Group B, I have Damwon getting out first, JDG second, G2 third, EG fourth. Group C, I have Top Esports first, DRX second, Rogue third, GAM Esports fourth. Group D, I have Gen G, RNG second, 100 Thieves third, and Flying Naggers fourth. So throughout history, Korean teams have always topped their group. Even in 2018, when it was still kind of bad for them, a Freak of Freaks still managed to get top in their group as well, you know? So it's one of these things where LCK teams always get first place. You gotta factor in, Faker has never gotten second place in a group stage ever. And people think that's just gonna happen now this year?
Okay, why would you put Damwon Kia over?
I need to see some actual results here.
What do you mean actual results?
I need to see the Korean teams not get anything consistently less than first in their groups. Now, last year you had Hanwha Life getting second. Yeah, because that's how they faced T1.
Well, they almost got first.
So, like, it's very rare the Korean teams get second place in these groups. So unless there's some history, so let's say I have more results to go off of to change that, I just can't put the Korean teams outside of first.
Look, with how Damwon Kia's been playing, I don't know.
Hey man, Showmaker, he has that girl wearing his jersey now. Maybe
I'm sorry, that's just that isn't really the case, Emma. Because like when a Korean team isn't that good, they don't. All right, like we've seen it before.
It's very rare though. That's very rare.
We've seen it before with like DRX and stuff. It's just last year they were, you know, their region did have. I mean, besides Hanwha Life, it was just Team Chovy. They had better depth and good depth than LP in comparison to LPL. You know, they were actually better than LPL that year. Like, you know,
shown through history, Korean teams normally always get out first in their groups. I don't think this year's going to be any different. Now, I'm not saying the LPL teams are bad. I'm not saying that. They're going to be pretty strong.
I just think JDG you give the.
Hey man, last time I believed in JDG, they choked.
I do think G2 will get a game off of him.
Last time I believed in JDG, they choked pretty hard. But that's on the same team. I just hope they play better.
No, they were good. It's just they weren't, you know,
Konami couldn't even see his computer. What are you talking about? He looked like this.
No, in a different matchup, they could have got top 4. It's just, you know, they had a tough bracket side. If they were on G2's thing, they would have got top 4.
I think.
Who did you guys have for yours?
I haven't done my pick on that. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, well, okay. I would have. Okay, God, Gumayushi fucking suck. It's because of Gumayushi. Okay, but I'll go T1, Cloud9, EDG, and Fnatic. Then, yeah, I'm sorry. I think it's different with JDG. Another thing is G2 plays well with their strategy against teams like Damwon. So I'm gonna go JDG, Damwon, G2, EG, and then C. Scroll down.
Yeah.
God, why do you have GAM? Okay, whatever. Let's go. I guess Top Esports. I think you're underrated Rogue. I think they'll squeak by like Cloud9, and then GAM. I think it's honestly kind of on par with Rogue. I think they have a chance to upset and make it through finally.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if they didn't in 2019 though in that Group B, then I don't know when they will. But and then DRX, if they get anything besides 4th in this group, that's just bad for the game. And then D, I'll go. Yeah, I mean that's same as that. That's
because my thing here is, given G2's recent last performance we saw of them compared to like Damwon's, I'd have to take Damwon over them. I like G2 a lot, but their recent performances, just going on pure recency bias, I think it's Damwon favored. Not saying they're that much better, but you know, given the performances I literally just saw, you know, I would have Damwon favored. I think it's going to be a battle between JDG and Damwon anyway.
So you want to talk about all the people on crack who put every LPL team in S tier?
Who did? Which analyst?
The whole community basically.
The whole community. I need some.
Yeah, they
names,
they all
sir.
been just putting them in like they're like, okay, so Gen G S tier, then all 4 LPL teams S tier, and then T1 and A tier. It's like you people are on. This is how I know you don't watch the regions. You're bandwagon.
Well,
Okay, now EDG, if they make it out and they end up being a great team, it's literally only because Viper's like the best ADC in the game right now, and that it's like kind of an ADC meta. Otherwise, no, they are not that good, and they are honestly kind of worse than RNG. If RNG would just stop playing like they're on crack and just have a good strategy.
Oh yeah, go ahead, dude.
So mine's a little bit different. I actually have. I'm not on the copium, dude. I have. I think EDG is better than T1, so I have EDG, T1, Cloud9, Fnatic, and then I had JDG, Damon. I put EG third because the way GT performed in LEC finals kind of exposed to a couple of things, so I put them.
Imagine another year where NA is better than EU.
Then I had top. Actually had Rogue, and then DRX. I'd have DRX, Gam, because that's how I think Rogue is. I think Rogue is better than. I'm sorry, this Asian players have praised Odo Omne, so and not many Eastern players respect the Western players, and then the yours would be exactly for Group D.
So my thing here, because I know we have 100 Thieves fans that watch. I'm being honest here, guys. Okay, so 100 Thieves has probably even a harder group than they had last year. 100 Thieves last year had a really hard group, actually the group of death. This year probably is even worse because this is not the same RNG from last year that had those issues. This is the MSI champion RNG. This is the Gen G champion of the LCK. Now, in years ago, Gen G had very wonky play styles. They were very slow. They had good players. It was just that, the play style was just slow. They really never accelerated the pace of the game with the amount of good players that they had. And this is the year that I think Gen G are going to come in and actually show that, they're definitely going to potentially have a shot at winning Worlds. I think Gen G are going to end up making the finals. That's one of my predictions against an LPL team. I don't know who yet because...
Nope, they're not making finals. I guarantee that.
They're not making... I guarantee it. Even though we haven't seen no games, he already guarantees it.
Not making finals.
Do you think they'll at least make top 4?
Yeah, they'll make semis, but they're not making finals.
Because my thing here is... I think this is the year they're going to show people why they're a team that you definitely shouldn't be, thinking that are not like, okay, so what I say. I think people are going to assume this is the same Gen G that we've had at Worlds for many years now. This is definitely not the same team.
Wait, who's their top? I just don't know the top leader.
For Gen G? Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, are you dumb, Doran? You fucking
Doran.
Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute. My bad, Cole. I know 4
you
out
need
of the
to
5.
know every single player, or else you're a fucking idiot, Warren.
Oh yeah. Oh my. I hate
this.
Canadian
Is the guy that lives in Canada and doesn't know.
This guy who drinks maple syrup and puts Canadian bacon up his ass.
I don't fucking drink maple syrup.
Shut the hell up. Anyway,
mayo.
No, but
not maple
Doran,
syrup.
you think I don't see? I think Breed is, but I might actually have to change it because Breed is way better than Doran. I'm sorry, and Way is underrated. So I might actually put RNG over.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. How much are they paying you in the LPL?
No,
Warren Tencent,
you're looking at like one position.
No, Gala is consistent. It's his meta with Kaisa.
Ruler hasn't done well.
Wait. Let me get this straight. How many championships does Gala have over Ruler?
It doesn't matter. Those are.
It doesn't matter. I'll shut the.
Yeah, let's see. I don't care about paper MSI champions like.
No, I'm talking about domestic as well.
Ruler just has the one.
How many does Gala have?
2, I think. He has 2.
And he just and
maybe he has 1.
Who did he replace?
I think Gala has 1. I could be wrong, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's not how he's playing right now in comparison to Ruler.
but if I have to, we've seen them. I'm going off of also.
I think Genji's playstyle is going to directly counter RNGs.
Here's what I'm saying. Outside of Chovy, I think the bot lane matches up. I think Ming is better than Lehens. I do think Wei is so underrated as a jungler.
Wei and Pina are about the same.
You really think Ming has been better than Lehens this year?
Well, Ming has been consistent.
Okay, here's what I'll say. I think the players in RNG can match up to the Genji players. I think they're either or. It's like 60-40 odds, right? It's not that big of a difference. I just think that Genji's playstyle directly counters RNG's. Because RNG wants to get ahead early game. It's not going to happen against Genji. Genji know how to stabilize most early game teams. They did it in the LCK themselves. They were not only to be an early game ahead team, but also neutralize teams that had a good early game too.
I just don't see Peanut being better than Peanut and Dor. I don't see the top side of the map and outside of Chovy being better than Breeze.
If Xiaohu can play how he did up against Faker at MSI, there's a good chance he can take out Chovy. I'm not saying he can't, but it's at least we can agree on this. It's going to be a tie between these two teams to get out of the group. At least, because I don't think
that's why I'm saying that first and second is really interchangeable.
Yeah, it's really close. Like you could have most of these groups, you could have change up either or. You know, I just think that for people that like 100 Thieves, they're gonna have to win 2 games against one of these teams. You're going to beat this team twice and maybe get a game off these 2 teams. That's not happening.
And I'm going to be realistic. Look, I think they could probably get a win off of RNG if RNG doesn't play good.
If 100 Thieves to get out of the group, to have a good shot at getting in the group, 100 Thieves would need to start 2-1. They'd have to beat Flying Naggers. It also have to beat maybe RNG and Genji.
Well, you only play each team twice.
Right. So they're gonna have to get some wins somewhere. They need to win the games that matter. So the Flying Oyster games, they need to win those.
I mean, even if they win a game off of one, I still think they cannot force tiebreak because okay, so let's just say Genji beats RNG both times and then Flying Oyster both times, but then they lose one game to 100 Thieves.
Yeah,
right? They're still 5-1, and then let's just say Royal Never Give Up wins both games against 100 Thieves and Flying Oyster. They're 4-2. That's still not enough. That's 3-3.
Yeah, I think they'll just finish 3-3.
They literally have to win 2.
Yeah, the thing here is even last year where they played spoiler on the last day, people are like, oh my god, they played so well. Well, that doesn't matter at that point. I don't know. Does that mean anything now, people? Oh no, it doesn't. Yeah,
but no, Flying Oyster sucks just like Beyond Gaming. PCS has sucked this year. Brazil has actually been better.
As you guys know, I love Cloud9. I think they definitely have a shot at giving it to some of these teams.
This is the only group where Copium can exist. The others, I don't see it.
Yeah, the others, I just don't see it. I love G2, man, but they're not as good as Damwon or as good as JDG.
This literally all depends on how much Viper destroys. That's literally because that's the entire EDG team.
I want to ask you guys.
That's not true.
Yes, it is with how they're.
Wait.
Scout's not good?
Stop.
No, I was exaggerating a bit, but no, I'm just saying when it becomes to the overall thing, I think that's.
Zandalar. Thank you.
No, I think Cloud9 can be a better team. It just depends on if Viper destroys or not.
I want to ask you guys this: how many games do you think EG are going to win in this group, beside one? This is really uphill for them.
No.
I think EG can win 2.
At least 2 games. I'll give them that. At least 2 games.
I think EG. I don't know. I've never seen Impact. Impact destroyed Armut. I'm sorry, but he destroyed Armut.
Yeah.
He literally did. And I think my Sejuani pick for Pick'ems actually went through because Sedge was played a lot during the last.
You're right. Yeah.
Few games. So I don't know. When it comes to that, but we will. Yeah, I don't know. Kaori showed that he can play more than because people were memeing on him that he can only play Aphelios and Lucian, and he played a lot of different ADCs throughout the play-ins. I honestly think if they had Danny, they had a better chance. I'm gonna stick by that because the kid's very talented. It's just unfortunately he's young and he dealing with. This is why sports psychologists are important for teams. He just can't handle the pressure. That's why he was crying at the end of to getting them to Worlds. So, I really do think that EG would have had a better shot if Danny was there because he is talented. Like nobody can.
He played not so good in the summer though.
No, but
he really didn't play that good.
No, but you got to remember though. I think EG actually gets to the finals if they have.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, no, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like if he plays the entire of the summer playoffs,
yeah,
they're probably in group. They're probably either in group A
they'll go
or D.
They'll go to group D actually because they got second seed.
Right.
Because I know Chaz was like, how do we have the top Asian teams? Chaz, if you're watching this, every group always has top Asian teams. That's every year. That's not a new thing. It depends on how you finish in your region. If you get a stronger Asian team or a weaker Asian team, 100 Thieves ended up getting the best LCK team and a top 4 LPL team that's been ramping up through play-ins. Remember, guys, RNGs had now had a chance to ramp up in the play-in stage, so they're not a weak team either. That's not a weak LPL team.
Right, and I think people are gonna like ban Breeze Aatrox, but realize he has like 7 other champions he can play.
That guy was actually putting in a lot of work for them in the playing stage. That guy was been really good.
He's very good.
We're gonna only predict one of the matches because I want to say the predictions for the series, but we have match of the day. NA versus EU to kick it off. Cloud9 versus Fnatic. Remember, guys, Cloud9 and Fnatic have not faced each other since Rift Rivals in 2019. It's been a long time since they've actually faced each other.
I'll go first because we can go through this list.
Yeah, also in 2 more banger matches, T1 versus EDG. These guys always face each other at Worlds. Gen G versus RNG. There's some bangers right here. Now, we'll just go and do our predictions. Just no analysis because we got to say that for another video. But these are some great games later on.
All right, yeah.
Go ahead, Warren. Yeah,
I'll go first. I'm gonna have C9. Sorry, Damwon. I'm gonna go off of performance. I got Oysters being 100 Thieves. I'm sorry.
We're not getting out of the group. Then if they win this game, that's probably not getting out of the group type shit.
This is my copium pick. I got EG beating JDG. I got EDG beating T1, and I got RNG beating Gen G.
This man, I hate you. I hate you so much. Okay, we'll just leave it to Warren's predictions. Actually, off that, we have some banger matches, guys. The last time T1 and EG faced each other.
Did you miss skip? Was I away?
I don't like you, so you don't get any picks. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, okay. If Cloud9 loses this first game, I'm gonna jump off a cliff. But yeah, Cloud9, DK, 100 Thieves, but even though they look like shit, CFO actually has I might actually go. No, I'll still go 100 Thieves. Well, CFO's that bad still. JDG go down.
Oh yeah.
T1, unless Gumayushi ends his ass off, and then Gen G.
All right, so I think there's some interesting matchups today because EDG and T1 have not faced each other since 2017, I think. No, sorry, my bad. They faced each other last year. In last year's groups, both these teams got out. Now,
so
I remember
I will
EDG
say,
won the
though,
first
if
time around.
RNG beats Gen G at least once in this group thing, and if CFO beats 100 Thieves once, and I do think it will be this day, that they do so.
Oh, man. All right, so, yeah, there's some great games coming up on Thursday. They start at 2 o'clock. Guys, when it says start at 2 o'clock, this shit's about to end at like 10 o'clock at night, actually. It's about to be fucking insane. Well, that is pretty much it for that. Hopefully, we get some banger matches out of, Gen G, Chovies, now with a really strong team where it can actually do some amazing damage at Worlds. You also have the fact that Fnatic has had a chance to ramp up against Cloud9. Hopefully Cloud9 can pull it through. I definitely want that to happen. I still have faith in T1 to some extent to be a really strong competitor in the group. I also think RNG is going to be a strong competitor as well. But we'll have to see how it goes. But these are my pick'ems, guys, because I know some years Riot's like shuffled my shit around because I didn't save it. So I made sure this year I saved my shit. Everyone's looking at it right now. Every year, it always happens to me. I saved my shit. These are my picks. Now, should I probably have Rogue over DRX? No, because I'm not a crackhead. So that is gonna pretty much wrap that up. We'll be right here for like another like good 5 minutes. Just talk to you guys, you know. Oh, well, what do you guys want to talk about? What ended up happening actually this week for you guys? We'll be here for like another 5-ish minutes.
Well, I know I had to deal with somebody with dementia on Twitter, yesterday.
Okay.
I had to deal with a Canadian quadriplegic, so it's it's okay,
Don't you love when you say something like I don't think Mad is a good team, but I do think with how Saigon Buffalo is playing and how they have least adapted against them, they'll win the series against them. And then I get a reply from some crackhead above me saying, "You dumb for saying that," and then that's exactly what happened with Mad.
They're not. The problem is that Mad was a fraud. Like I honestly think that if Vitality has half a brain, they should have made it, but they didn't have a brain. I don't think XL regardless would have made it. They just don't have the superstar clutch factor, in my opinion. You need that. Like, I think Perks excels. That's why I would have wanted Vitality here, because Perks would have excelled here. But Mads wasn't good. Like, you saw LEC, I saw LEC. The competition, the bottom teams, I think only one team had a shit record. What was that? That was BDS. So, like, even the lower teams got somewhat better. But that's not neither here nor there. I think the one thing for me is that I'm not sure if I'm going to watch another play-ins unless it's... I don't know. They just need to change the format. I didn't like this. Like, you can use this format for MSI because it's only one team from each region. But this format doesn't work for it doesn't work for Worlds. They need to figure out something. I hope they figure out something. And then apparently I saw news about Champions Queue being changed because Faker got trolled. And I don't know if you heard that Carzy is is looking for other opportunities.
We gotta talk about that today. Treats was let to be known that he can look for other opportunities.
They're letting go of like their best player. Good job.
Yeah, literally today, I followed Treats on Twitter. He put out that fact that SK allowed him to look for other opportunities and shit. And it's like,
okay, so
do you not want to go to playoffs anymore? Like, what the fuck? That's SK Gaming's, like level.
Yeah.
Just making
what I would say is definitely I think FlyQuest should look at it, getting him.
He'd do well on probably.
Don't say CLG.
No, I think I wouldn't be surprised if he heads over to Vitality.
Maybe he goes to Team Liquid.
Okay, I don't really see him, like, I still don't see any other EU options for him right now where it'd be good enough for him to be a world contender.
Factor in recency bias is a huge play on how potential teams see you to pick you up. So if he failed on that Vitality super team, there's a good chance he doesn't get any offers in EU. He comes to NA.
Well, the thing is, right? Lebrov and Carzy and Selfmade can all. So I assume Lebrov was going to be picked up by a different team. I think Lebrov was put in I think he's a good player on a wrong team. That's my opinion. I don't think he's a bad player. I just don't think he fits that team and what they had envisioned. That's not copping out for him. That just we saw it with Comp, right? Comp was on Vitality. It didn't work out. He went to Rogue. He revitalized his career. It can happen for Lebrov. And if it doesn't work, then he was a bust. Fair enough, right? So I think he would work well with... I think I could see Treats going to either because he can't. Yeah, he has to go to either Vitality because he's not going to replace Trimby. He's not replacing unless he goes to say G2. But are you going to replace Treats for Targamas? I don't think so.
I don't think you do that. Yeah.
He's not replacing.
I just don't see there being any great enough EU options for him because EU teams are dumb with support.
I mean, he could replace Hylissang. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, he has EU pride, so he'd want to play there. But I think he might see the options and then decide to take the money. And I think I'm not saying FlyQuest is. I do think FlyQuest should just keep their Afromu and get a better ADC, but I mean he would be an upgrade over Afromu, and I do see that as like his best option team wise in NA because I don't see him getting on any others really with what they're doing.
Unless he comes back to TSM.
Fuck no. Yeah, I mean, would you want him on a team? I mean, would you think like a CLG or 100 Thieves would take him?
I think.
I mean, they could.
I think CLG are going to run their roster back based off how they saw it perform.
No, now with like Gen X on the market, Treats on the market.
They're not looking at him.
It's hard to say like who you replace and don't replace on CLG with their. It's hard to say. Like who actually was like the biggest reason for
that's just what I think. I personally think that CLG are going to run their roster back. They might potentially make an upgrade, maybe, but I don't see a world where they would want to make any changes to their roster. I think they like the way their roster performed, given how budget they went, you know? Because I think these bottom tier teams are just going to stay doing this budget route.
I really don't want, I feel bad for Dokla if they do replace him after this, I'm saying this guy really wasn't that bad at all for, for all these splits, as people said, he had an okay enough rookie split under the circumstances on Optic, and he actually did not play bad on Optic. People are just highlighting his bad moments. He played perfectly fine, and especially with the team he had, and he was playing actually kind of good for all these seasons in Academy, and being a weak side guy. It's just people always memed him in the community like Keith, so they never gave him a chance. So it took him 4 years and until he's 25 now to get another chance because people don't actually scout players in NA. They don't actually understand who's good. But I mean, so I'd feel bad for him, but I do think if they can find a better top laner for another region they could import, that would just be more consistent with what they want to do in that strategy with top laner.
Or even with Gen X, which team is going to take Gen X?
Gen X would legit be an upgrade on CLG. He would do what they want.
I don't know if he's going to get NA offers. I'm talking about
he is.
If he did get EU offers, which team is he going to? That's not probably a bottom tier team.
He would go to Astralis. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he could go. That would be a huge upgrade. That would actually make them.
Yeah, and they think Natas is going to sign Vizachachi.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would. I mean, we can laugh about it, but I think he's a huge upgrade over Vizachachi.
Yeah, and Gen X went to Astralis. That make them stronger.
That would make them much stronger.
The caveat here is that's unless Astralis is in the LEC coming into next year if they don't get bought up by K-Corp. That's the rumor, but
they're not going to get bought out.
Or maybe Team Heretics picks up Gen X because he's a veteran top laner with some experience, Because Team Heretics are going to buy a whole new team. Maybe he goes to Team BDS. What I'm trying to say is I don't see Gen X going to a top tier team. I think he's going to be on these Excel, BDS, Astralis.
Is he better than Finn? Hell yeah, he's better than Finn.
What was Finn on Excel? Yeah, so do you think Excel pick up Gen X? Maybe.
Better than Finn? Well, they need to get rid of Nude Build. That's what I think what's going to happen is we'll probably Excel will try to squeak in money to get VTO and a new top laner.
So that's just my thing right now, guys. This offseason is going to be incredibly
I'm still going to be an SK fanboy. SK, baby. Let's go.
I don't like you.
And Astralis. Let's go to the stars.
You might not even have Astralis. They're going to get bought out by K-Corp.
No, Astralis is going to stay, man.
If they don't, you have to be a K-Corp fan then.
I'm not going to be Astralis. Astralis is going to stay.
Astralis.
Astralis.
First.
They're staying. SK is staying.
It's not Astralis. It's not Astralis. It's Astralis. You fucking idiot.
Astralis.
No,
Alright.
Astralis.
All right,
not-
Bullwinkle, shut the
Not
fuck up.
Astralis. Astralis, and
Okay,
not
I
Astralis.
say Astralis because I feel like it. Okay.
I'm putting emphasis on the ass because they've been ass in this league.
They weren't at that, but I mean, you're right. You're right. I don't like. Listen, I don't even mind if Genax went to CLG. Like he put up really good stats. He made a switch. I think, yeah, I think he would do. I'd still root for him. You know, I don't know. But like, where any? Let's be honest. In the LEC, was there really a top laner that really stood out? Like this
In
summer
the
split.
LEC, I think.
I'm sorry, I don't see it.
Odoamne.
Besides Odoamne, you're right.
Besides the old man Odoamne.
Besides Odoamne, hell no. This was a shitty summer split.
Yeah, like people praise Wonder, but I thought Wonder played just all right. I think it's all right.
I agree.
Let's see. There was
Arma played great.
Come on, stop.
Let's see.
No, that's no. Like,
the fact that you guys have to think that. I'm not saying you guys can't come up with them. I'm not trying to be like, oh, haha, I got you. But the fact that you guys can't just be like, you know how.
Wait a minute, Alfari, he played amazing.
Stop it. Like, you know how 2021, you guys could automatically say, Garrett was most improved, or you said this guy. Like this summer split, like it wasn't like we were. I mean, even Broken Blade had some high highs and some low lows too. So
I mean, Hewitt played well in summer.
Because he didn't play.
What do you mean? What do you mean? He didn't lose a single game.
Irrelevant, I thought played really well.
Irrelevant might get picked up. That guy played
really well. Yeah.
He's actually pretty good.
He played like shit. He deserved to be fucking kicked off that team.
Agressivo played, or Agressivo, whatever you pronounce it. I mean, he played well in the first half. It's hard to say if he only played poorly in the second half because he was on BDS.
Well, yeah, guys. I mean, we had a great show today. We want to try and always give you guys a little bit of extra time on these shows because
Scarface should definitely get picked up, in my opinion, from Unicorn.
They should pick up. I wonder what Dignitas are going to be doing.
I mean, from what I can see, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see some role swaps and if we see some teams just keep one player. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Mad cuts to 2, 3 players and keeps only one. I
think they're just gonna keep that. See, that's the thing too. Okay, that's the last thing we'll talk about. Mad Lions' year is done. What do Mad Lions do? I think they just change out Armud.
They get rid of Niski and they get rid of Armud.
They just bought Niski. Do you not think they're gonna try and push?
If I can get VTO over Armud, would you not?
No, yeah, no, I'm not saying that. It's just like
we're not saying it's not a bad strategy because. Niski shouldn't even won MVP. He was good in regular season, but he literally won it because of narratives and just because he was that much of an improvement over Reeker. He should have won it on Cloud9 in 2020, but not this split. Now, I mean, there's definitely better bids they could get, and it didn't work at the end of the day after regular season, which is what matters. But I mean, but I had this success with him early on. They just bought him and they just won MVP. So for all this sake, they're gonna at least try one more year with him.
I don't think so, man. I think if you have the money, if I'm an owner, right, and I see there's a better player on the market to replace, I'm gonna take.
In theory, yes, but if what the rumor is true, they paid a decent amount of money for Niski. I think you can't
just throw out all this money. They can't.
Well, then you get rid of Armut.
Well, no, that's what I said. I think the only player they get rid of is just Armut. You keep everyone else.
What about Kai? I'm not saying they. I'm just saying they might be a better duo.
I think it'd be a mistake to get rid of that guy because remember, because it's the same conversation.
I'm not saying I wouldn't get rid of Kaiser. I'm just saying, dude, you think there's support they can get that would pair better with Unforgiven?
Limit.
Stop it.
I think Winsome would pair well with him.
So that's the thing with Kaiser is people got to factor in if Hylissang and Kaiser leave these teams, there's a good chance because they're actually pretty good supports. they can go to another team and play pretty well. That's the thing, though.
It's pretty insane to me that Hylissane has like played on only 2 teams for like 6 years each in his career.
Now, that's the other thing no one understands is like if you throw away these support players who have been deemed good, but they don't have a really good year, they could go to another team and be insane. And now you just pulled a Steve. You gave up one of your good players because they had a bad year, and now that other guy's popping up for your enemy. That's why I think that
Team Liquid would have done better than Mad Lions.
So that's what I think. Like, I think they just get rid of Arma. I think you definitely keep Aloya unless he definitely wants to leave.
Yeah, okay. You can keep Kaiser, I guess, but I would definitely pair him with Cody's son, though.
So I think you also got a penalty to factor in. They paid a lot of money for Niski. I think you definitely want to make sure that contract is maxed out. I mean, we know Niski's better than what he showed, and it's hard for people to understand that though. People could just underperform. It's just how the game works. Unforgiven. Yeah, Unforgiven.
Unforgiven. I'm gonna use that name now. Unforgiven.
Unforgiven. I don't know what happened to him. I think it's just first year at Worlds. He doesn't play that well. Happens to a lot of players when they first go to their first World Championship. They don't play that well. They play like okay. They don't play as good as you think they actually are. I think they keep most of their team, but that's only if contracts don't run out. If their contracts run out, then they're gonna try and look for other options. Or
let's keep it 100. Like, shout out to Kata. EU pays way cheaper than NA, so I wouldn't be. And as much as EU pride, like if these people can go for the money, go for the money. Like at the end of the day, you don't know how long your career is gonna go for. Of course, make the best team move too. You don't want to go to BDS and you're like. Cashing in money too, so I think BDS gets breaking up. I think Astral's is staying, but I'm not sure if they keep. They probably get rid of Vizichachi to be good, even though I like the guy. They probably upgrade Vizichachi if they can get a relevant. I'd take a relevant.
Please put Unicorns of Love back in the league.
I am with Sean on adding 2 more teams to LEC.
Well, then they should LEC and LCS at least make it 12.
Yeah, make it 12.
That's why I don't. Problem. That's why I was gonna think. Fucking hell, Vin Diesel. That's what I was thinking too. Is like, okay, if there are orgs that have enough money to buy into the league, expand it to 12 teams. But there have been orgs that want to get out of the league too, like Misfits. They want to sell their slot. I don't know if SK Gaming is gonna want to sell their slot. Maybe Excel.
That just really saddens me that fucking Misfits get and
but that's the thing, dude, is that I know you want 12 teams in the league, but if some of these teams are going to end up selling their slots and they want to get out, that's not going to be really worth it.
I just think it's better for the league to have 12, that's all, or 14. I'm not saying like as org wise, because it's still going to be the same issues as they would with just having 10 teams anyway, but it would be better for the league. I'm just mean, but I mean, like with like LCS, I think you expand it to 12 and you bring in Sentinels and maybe Mr. Beast buys a team, and then if they were to swap any team out, I think honestly, I mean, here's the thing, I really don't want Dig and Immortals to leave because for historical reasons, but I mean it's gonna happen, but I wish they would just like change ownership and stuff as all, but that's not gonna happen.
I think I'm trying to remember an LCS team that could come back. I think we see that the LPL
Energy could.
No, I mean Energy could, but
they want to for the LCS if they want to bring in a new org. Got to bring in someone with something of a decent fan base attached to it. Maybe that's a team in Valorant who want to invest in the LCS. Would it be?
I mean, they could like get an org who is like kind of Brazilian. They could.
Ew, gross. Brazilians are gross, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't
be esports or something.
I wouldn't be surprised if Loud had the money and could go into NA. I mean,
or Pain Gaming.
Oh no, I don't need to see BRT.
Why are you in love with Brazil? Did you date a girl from Brazil? You dated a girl from Brazil. I know
Taco Bell, Chipotle, those turtles.
No, I wish, but if I went there, I'd be dead. So I'm good.
That'd steal his kidney.
Yeah.
I swear this man dated a fucking Brazilian woman. That's why he loves him so much.
No, I wish. No, but no.
No, okay. I know one Brazilian girl. She is really. Oh my goodness. She was showing me her stuff. Oh goodness, it looked like pretty good stuff there. But yeah, that's my thing. Is I think we'll just
mean the OnlyFans person. Got it.
No. She was a hot lady who was actively trying to sleep with me. That's what she wanted.
Yeah,
to do.
you mean she was saying that to you on OnlyFans, with your messages.
Right. I talk to women. It's easy.
Uh-huh.
So that's the last thing I'll say. Guys, I have other videos planned. We got a new series we're gonna end up starting tonight. I'll just talk to these guys later on because we'll do it later on tonight. I promise we'll do it later on tonight. I just got to get some stuff done. I have other videos planned coming out for the channel. Just haven't got a chance to put them out yet. News videos because you guys need to know about the news. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Worlds 2022 kicked off this weekend. It was fun, to say the least.
All right, I gotta head to the gym.
I gotta go to the gym too because I gotta go sleep with my wife. Actually, we're gonna have banging hot sex later on.
Sure.
The Lord of the Rings of Power is a non-woke white male loving show.
All right, have a good day.
See you guys